And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, broadcasting live from the Jazz Zions Bank basketball campus. We are down here for Media Day. What a day it has already been for the station. David James, great show. We've had Ryan Smith. We've had Austin Ainge, Danny Ainge, Kyle Anderson, and then we've aired some podium too. And Bronco Mendenhall. What a day for David Randolph James, everyone. Congratulations on that's what I assume your middle name is, David Randolph. But no, huge day for DJ and PK, and we're going to keep it rolling right here on Jake and Ben. And we're super excited about it. Thanks to the Jazz for having us here live. This is cool and unique and great for us and our station. So thanks to Derek and Madeline and everybody who makes this possible. Ben is here. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
You've been over, speaking of the podium, in the press room, asking those hard-hitting questions. I heard you. I was like, there's Ben. He's got his Bloodhound journo hat on. He's going for blood.
No secrets today. I'm going to uncover them.
And then Ben got lost in the parking lot, and now he's here.
Well,
I still don't understand how you got lost in the parking lot.
And podium side and the side where we're on, the practice court, are totally different. And when that's the case, you have to go from one side of the building to the other, and you can't always just walk right through because Media Day is a whole extravaganza.
See, now this is the way to get started. Sitting down now with us is Keyonte George, and as he's getting set, I'll kind of hit the build up here. You and I talked on Friday about the person we most were looking forward to talking to at Media Day, and lo and behold, he's the first person on our show sitting in front of us, the one and only Keyonte George. How are you? It's great to see you. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Good seeing y'all. How y'all been?
We've been really good, and let me explain why we wanted to talk to you, because, well, we've seen you around. You've been here. We saw you for Summer League, working with the younger players and all this stuff, and, the jump or the expectation of a jump from year 2 to year 3, is a thing because you have been there. You've done that. You've learned. And I was impressed that you kind of took ownership of the offseason, at least from afar, and I was curious to hear your thoughts on what you've been doing.
I mean, you was right. I've been in Utah whole summer, basically. Go home for about a week or two, and then come right back to Utah. So Utah was home base for me. But
it wasn't too hot this summer. That was nice.
No, it wasn't at all. Just hot, trying to get around the city,
but not too hot.
See some stuff. But I think just been here, trying to get in the best shape possible. Working on the consistency piece of it, every day, just trying to work. And also it's kind of just wanted to stay here just because, I didn't want to take this building for granted. Like, come here every day. I get to work with my player development coach for free. I get to live for free. I mean, it's everything that I need is just here in the building. Like, I don't got to go back. I don't got to go nowhere to kind of get the stuff that we already have here. So,
yeah, there's a fire pit over there. You can roast marshmallows.
Yeah, that's where DA be at when he be crossing his feet and watching golf.
Key, starting in June, we do digging. We try and figure out what's happening. June, July, consistently, you're the name I've heard all summer long. Everyone said you had a huge summer. I was told you were the MVP of the summer. What has it felt like for you? I mean, what has your summer felt like as far as, or what do you think that might mean?
I think for me, like, I don't know. It's out there. Like, we've been losing for 2 years in a row now. So I think for me, it was just about, all right, how can I change, or not just me, but how can we change the culture, or how, the league looks at the Jazz almost, just being honest with you. I feel like people came and they thought like, oh, let's just get our rhythm back when you play Jazz. Now we just got to get in our minds that we're going to compete every single day. So that's why I was in the building. I was here when the workouts was going on. I was here when the draft happened. I was here when they was in Summer League, like just trying to be around the group. I didn't want to be one of those guys that left and then came back like a month before camp, and then now trying to build that camaraderie. I feel like we've already built that camaraderie. Everybody's been going to each other's houses, like going to eat somewhere. Some of the people came to Dallas, and then we did stuff there. So, like, just trying to build that camaraderie was the biggest thing for me. I think, like I said, the thing for me was just we team. Come on, Kyle. But
what do you think about, speaking of Kyle Anderson walking by, what do you think about a couple of the new guys? Start with him, but we can talk about Kevin Love or Yusuf or wherever you want to go.
Yeah, Kyle, Kev, George, even Nurk. George was in here a couple times with us, open gym. And you could already kind of sense like his years in the league, like he was using his voice already just in open gym. Like we weren't even trying to play organized basketball almost, and he was still trying to talk to us, show us different things. And then I've already heard about Kyle, how big his voice is in the locker room, and while he was in Minnesota, how much he was yelling at those guys when they was young, and then now coming to us, kind of the same situation. So I'm excited to have these guys in here. I mean, Nurk, he's played with some great guards. And then K-Love, I mean, we already know what he's done in this league. So it's a lot of knowledge in the locker room we got to take advantage of.
We heard you organized the gathering in Dallas and got everyone down there together. What were you trying to accomplish there? Who all was there? And I guess what have you seen from some of these young players on the floor who stood out?
Yeah, it was just trying to accomplish just getting the guys around and still trying to build that camaraderie. All the rookies came. And then the guys that I got drafted with, they all came. And then Elijah came, and then we had a couple pros. They came in and kind of filled in the spot so we could kind of get up and down. But, I mean, we lifted there. We got strength and conditioning there. We was on the court. But, I mean, it's just all been fun. And then as far as your question with the young guys, like Ace and Walt and Tanji.
Even second and third year guys.
I mean, they've all been here. They all been in the gym. Ace, I mean, just been trying to stay on him about like what it takes to stick in this league, and like there's a lot of aspects that come with the NBA outside the floor, like outside the court. Like there's a lot of things you gotta make sure you take care of, and obviously things are out there now. But just he's kept a smile on his face every single day, and he's came in here and worked hard like every single day. It was funny. He called me he asked me how did I get my Ring camera from my house. I was like, man, I don't even know, honestly. but nah, yeah, Walt. It's been crazy to be around Walt just because he's older than me. Mm-hmm. But you could just tell, like, obviously, like his habits coming from Florida, like the winning habits, obviously, and like kind of his knowledge of the game already. Just being around him and kind of talking about what we feel is going to happen in the season, and like even for like him talking to him how he think he'll play or what do you think his biggest adjustment will be when he gets it going. But I like the energy in the building. I like everything that's going on. It's exciting. You can how can I say this? You can tell I guess a shift almost with the culture, with the energy, just with everybody. So I'm excited, man.
So it's interesting you talk about what you tell the younger players and the off the court stuff. I'm curious, on the court, what do you tell them when they come to you and say, what does it take effort wise, skill wise, all that to be successful in the NBA? What do you tell them?
I mean, I tell them the easiest thing for me to tell them is get in shape, get in the best shape possible, get in the most shape you can. Because it's a lot of games and everybody on the court is good. And you also got to start to realize, everybody can score the ball. Everybody can shoot the ball. Everybody can do all the passing, dribbling. It's kind of what you bring to the table outside of that. Like, some of these guys now are some of the most valuable on their team, and all they do is play defense and make open shots. So it's just about I've just been telling them how can they be the most valuable to the team instead of trying to play how they want to play. That's what I've started to realize. You kind of got to be outside yourself for a second, kind of play for what's on the front of your chest. Obviously, we want to provide for our families, but when we win, everybody gets to eat. So we got to worry about winning first. So that's continue to build the habits. But like I said, just being in the most shape possible. And we got to guard. When we guard, the offensive part is easy for all these guys. Myself, Walt, Ace, Isaiah, like everybody can do the offensive piece. So we just been not strictly, but we've been really focused on the other side of the ball. So I think that's why it's also been good that everybody's been here, the young core, because Scott, Wojo, I mean, they've been on our bumper for the whole summer.
I imagine it's weird your first couple of years in the league, especially you coming at 19. You're just trying to, find your footing.
Yeah, for sure.
And now you look around the league, it's like Cam Whitmore has changed teams, and Kobe Buffkin has changed teams, and Jalen Hood-Schifino's changed team, and Nick Smith got waived. It's like, those guys are from your draft class.
Exactly, yeah.
And now they're fighting for their lives. Does that give you perspective on, hey, this league doesn't wait for anybody?
Yeah. Now, you said it right there. It definitely gives me perspective, when I see those things happen, and, just how fast, your life can change. I was able to be in the gym with Cam Reddish a little bit, and seeing that he's now overseas, starting to realize you can't take this for granted, being in the NBA. Every day you got to do something that's making you better. Like I said, whether it's off or on. And like I said, when those things happen, it kind of, when I'm looking at my phone, I kind of sat back and was the not only the opportunity that I have, but the situation that I was drafted into, it kind of made me realize, situation is everything almost. You can try to be the highest pick, try to get the most money you want, but, I'm starting to realize you got to fit, and you also got to be around people that want you, too. You can't just want to be somewhere and they don't want you back. So I think with D.A., Austin, and everybody, and Ryan, everybody will, I just can't thank them enough for obviously the opportunity, but just wanting me here, and it's obviously put in perspective that, like you said, this game could be taken away from you at any minute.
Since you spent the summer here, was there a summer activity that you particularly enjoyed? Did you float the Provo? Did you do some hiking? Did you hit Park City? Is there an activity that stands out?
I hit Park City. I went to the what is it called, the Montage?
Oh, yeah.
Went
fancy.
Went to have a little sushi dinner there.
Yeah.
Went up to Provo. I just went up there for the BYU practice. Just been really just trying to do a whole bunch of stuff outdoors.
It's a cool spot in the summer.
Yeah,
it's a cool spot in the summer for sure.
Try to find some food spots, but.
Have you played against AJ DeBonta? You guys?
I have
runs
not.
Yet?
I have not. But I will say at his practice, probably one of the most craziest dunks I've seen in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
I won't say too much, but somebody jumped, and the ball, he went off too, but the ball crazy, and then he dunked it. And I looked at Walt next to me, and I was like, hey, whoever get him, he gonna be like that.
Huh.
Is he one of those guys where you hear they're big and athletic, and then you say, okay, and then you see him in person? I'll give you an example. I always thought I heard Yusuf Nurkic was big. I saw him about 10 minutes ago. That guy is a mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is AJ one of those guys where you see in person, you're like, okay, I get it. That's real.
I don't know how to talk, but wherever talk, what do they listen at, 6'9"?
Yeah, something like that.
He legit, 6'9". Obviously, he gonna fill out, but he got. I mean, it's really on him. However good he want to be, he gonna be that good, honestly.
Emotionally, just good to see Taylor back on the floor.
I've been with Taylor all summer here. He's probably went away for a week, but in Utah, even when the weight staff goes for the combine and stuff, we stayed back. Me and him was working out together, doing conditioning together, doing whatever. So I'm coming back at night. He in here sometimes. So it's just been good. To be on the floor when that happened, and just to be with him, to see him build back up into the player that he was before, and honestly, he looks even better, even stronger, doing everything. So I'm excited. Somebody asked me about Taylor the other day, and I almost just could shed a tear just because I don't know. And when it happened, I just told everybody I love him so much, I love him like a brother. I didn't know him at all coming into the draft, and then when we got drafted together, just hanging out with him and meeting his family, like I said, he felt like a brother. So it was good to just work out and see him really get back to who he was before. I'm excited for him.
Well, I got to tell you, from like a sports radio standpoint, where Ben and I have to come up with topics, and Ben writes, and I do the pre-half and post, and you find storylines or whatever. That was one that just hung over the whole year last year. Whatever last year was about, the Taylor Hendricks thing was just like, oh, what if, you know?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think, you know, we talk to a lot of fans. I think that's a big source of excitement to see what he can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even that game he got even the game he got hurt. He was playing well defensively, offensively. Like, he just got all the tools, man. Like, it was so sad to see him go down. Like, I just know the type of effect he gonna have on our team. Like I just can't wait for everybody to see it for sure.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us. This was really great. It's a pleasure, and look forward to watching you all year long. Thank you very much.
I appreciate y'all. Good seeing y'all too.
Thanks, Key.
There you go. That's the one and only Keyonte George. That was great. Thank you very much, Keyonte. Man, I love it when you meet thoughtful interviews. Like every answer he had right there was very thoughtful. That was really good. His advice to young players about what it really takes, I thought that was great. We should clip that.
Key has a real – when you kind of first talk to him, I don't want to say he's standoffish, but he just kind of has a little bit of a cool attitude. And then he opens up, and he's so human, and he's so personable, and he's extraordinarily thoughtful. Like, who he actually is when you get to talk to him, I think, has always been a really enjoyable experience. It's just kind of that initial first impression when he sits down, I think, as he's feeling people out, might paint him one way, and who he actually is, I think, is quite a bit different. So I think you got a good taste of that. I think you really got an example of, like, how bought in he is to what he's doing. I do think he really understands, like, this is a huge year for him. If he doesn't do it this year, he might not be in the NBA, and he recognizes that. I think that's really important.
His thoughts on playing a role in what you have to do in the NBA, that's not the first time I've heard that take. But you know who was the first I heard that take from? Gordy Chiesa. Like, one of the smarter basketball people I've ever met. Like, a lot of, and from the coaching perspective, is finding a player and they do their role to help the team win. Like, that kind of mentality that's how you do it. So I thought that was just a terrific answer. The whole thing was really good.
No, Key's great.
All right, we'll have more from Jazz Media Day. We're hanging out. Big thanks to Keyonte George for jumping on with us. We'll have more straight ahead. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben want to remind you about Kenny J's Barbecue. They do catering, delivering bold, smoky barbecue no matter the occasion. Check out the catering menu at KennyJ'sBBQ.com for weddings, work, or any event. KennyJ'sBBQ.com. Also want to remind you about Win Ticket Wednesday, your chance to win big every week on the station. This week, you can win Fastness VIP tickets to Nightmare on 13th. One location, 2 haunted attractions. Nightmare on 13th, where Halloween lives. Get $10 off nighttime attractions by using discount code ZONE. And listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day on Wednesday for your chance to win. Real quick, before we dive into top 3 stories of the day, Ben, you know what's funny? I think we talk about this every Media Day. To people who don't know, Media Day is like different stations where they do different things, and the media is just a component. They do pictures, they do videos, and one of the stations is they have to sign 1,000 basketballs, right? There's got to be 1,000 basketballs over there, right?
We're not supposed to be mentioning anything that's going on here.
Oh, come on, they don't mind. Anywho, I was going to make a joke about how your wrist is going to be sore at the end of it. That's all.
It's a long day.
It's like the carpal tunnel from
It's
Senate.
a huge production, and it's changed a lot since I first started doing this, 15 years ago now, and you've been doing it for 20-plus years. So, yeah, it's a whole
thing.
It's a whole event, and it takes a lot of planning. It's a real process.
All right, time for the top 3 stories of the day. KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. Fair warning, if we do get a player, we may interrupt top 3 stories. But for now, Christian, where do you want to start?
Number 1, BYU and Utah both on the road. They both escape with wins.
This was an interesting weekend. I do think Utah, for the most part, answered every question we had. right? This was kind of what we talked about. Can they score 30 points? Can they go out there in the offense, move the ball consistently? Can Devin Dampier go out and kind of just be the man? And I thought he was. You wouldn't maybe piece together a career highlight reel from Devin Dampier in that game, and that's fine. He doesn't need to make highlight reel plays. He just needs to make the right play over and over, and I thought he had success doing that.
Yeah, I would agree. The interception was kind of rough.
That was a terrible throw.
Yeah,
he makes some bad decisions still.
Yeah,
that was a horrible throw.
So anyway, I don't mean to be a downer, but that wasn't, our question, can he throw it downfield like that? I don't want to say it's unanswered, but he's got to be better, I guess. But other than that, like that. Other than that, for sure, West Virginia is in a rough spot.
They're awful.
So bad.
Man, are they bad?
And that is a thing. But we talked about get right game, and you got to take advantage of it. What did we say their get right game was last year, and they missed it? Oh, Arizona. When you go up against an opponent that you should beat to bounce back from a tough loss, a get right game, that certainly was that. And the defense was what the defense is. I mean, really good.
Yeah, they're really good. They were a little questionable in the second half. Again, they had to adjust to a different quarterback. And I think that quarterback for West Virginia, again, as we've talked about over and over and over, and I actually totally understand why you didn't throw him out here to start that game, because starting against that Utah defense for your first time on the field is really difficult. He should be their starter the rest of the year, especially if there are other starters out. Nico. If he's out the rest of the year, they should go with the true freshman.
But the game was over at halftime.
It was. It absolutely was. And Utah, I'm sure, was more worried about the number of injuries that were racking up. I think it's a really good time for a bye week for the Utes.
Yeah, probably. Where you did bounce back and you have a little bit more positive trajectory after a tough loss. I don't think there's any doubt about it. As far as the Cougs go, I thought the Bear going in and getting his first road win was relevant. I know BYU was really bad to start the game, but when it clicked in, it was fine. It was good.
Look, he's not had a turnover through his first 4 games now. He's been better than I would have expected in that regard. I didn't love the play calling in the game. I was a little surprised L.J. Martin didn't get going earlier or really at all. And credit Colorado, they came out really focused. They played really well. I thought Colorado actually played really, really hard. And Caden Salter's a good quarterback.
I think this is how BYU's going to beat teams.
I think you're exactly right.
I think this is how they're going to beat teams, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. You get the W in the bag and move on. That is all that matters, and that's what happens when you start a true freshman that's not named Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, exactly right.
And the fact that he hasn't turned it over and hasn't made big mistakes and hasn't cost them games is exactly what he needs to be doing. And yeah, we could talk about getting guys going and that sort of thing. I thought the defense was asleep at the beginning.
Yeah, I was a little I maybe a little less confident in the defense now than I was after their first 3 games because they were playing such atrocious opponents. And that's not a knock on BYU's defense. You get a new challenge, it's going to feel different. So I think they'll adjust and play accordingly. But I do think maybe it's not quite as dominant as I thought it could be. And we'll see if they can fix that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win dominantly. I just don't.
Yeah.
And they gave up 21 points. It's not 41.
No, and they gave up 14 right off the bat.
Yeah,
and only
right
7
out of
the rest
game.
of the game.
So I mean, I think that's kind of how it's going to go. And Colorado played better. Yeah, sure. I can definitely buy into that. Did you see that the chancellor of the University of Colorado and the athletic director had to make a statement about chants in the crowd?
Yeah, which is seemingly the case every time BYU goes on the road.
Man, I don't know. Mitch lists off the list of incidents that have happened in recent years, but I certainly hope this is a fad that fades quickly. You know, being in a new league or something like new fan bases, I don't know.
Agreed. Yeah, I hope that's not something that you keep running into.
Yeah, because the chancellor and the AD should be apologizing. They should be saying that's not our standard.
Case.
Like that's all. I'm sure the chancellor is like, why on earth am I being bothered by this? Can't you just behave yourself? So anyway, I hope this pattern, I hope it goes away.
Yeah, I totally agree. I hope it does. I'm not super confident it will. That doesn't mean it's fair. You know, it's hard to control students. I totally understand that. But, yeah, that's not how any school wants to represent itself. I don't think it's what BYU should face when they go on the road. But on the field, you know, I thought it was a win. I say this a lot. Cash your checks and go home. You got to get wins. And if you get wins, it doesn't really matter how pretty it is. I don't want to overreact off of one game of what I think they'll be the rest of the year. I don't love how much Bear has to run the ball to move it, but he might just be a little bit more Taysom-y than he is
Right
Tanner
now.
Mangum. I mean,
Right now.
he's the best right now, planting his foot and taking off. And he can make some throws. I actually think he's probably a better passer than Taysom was. But his best weapon, personally, is his ability to take off, make a play with his feet, put a shoulder into somebody. And if that's the game plan and that's what they're going to do going forward, I think they can still win some games.
Keep the chains moving.
That's exactly right.
And, yeah, I think that's how BYU is going to win. Utah State kept it competitive for a half against Vanderbilt, but end up losing 55-35. Have we seen an update, Christian, on Bryson Barnes? I heard Broncos post-game with Scotty, and they were not able to pin him down, so we're not sure. He went out in this game, so we'll see.
They played hard.
Well,
it's a Bronco team. It looked like a Bronco team.
You know, one funny thing about this whole NIL, and we'll see where things go, but teams like Vandy have an advantage, They have more wealthy boosters. And if you told me that Vandy is going to make a move toward the relevant, I'd kind of buy it.
If they want to be good, they should have the finances to do it. We've said the same thing about Stanford. We've said the same thing about some of these schools. Vandy should be more committed.
Those schools do not care about football.
Correct.
I mean, that's our entire conversation about UCLA and why Deshaun Foster was so silly for the way he dealt with things, because nobody cares. But I don't know about Vandy. I don't know the ins and outs of how football passionate Vandy fans are. It'd be interesting to find out.
Yep, totally agree.
All right, what's next?
Number 2, a lot of big performances across the NFL yesterday, including Puka Nacua, one of our locals, with a monster game.
It's fun to see all of our local players playing particularly well. Puka with a huge game. Devin Lloyd with 2 interceptions. Devin Lloyd had a very slow start to his season in Jacksonville and is emerging as one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
Awesome.
He's got 3 interceptions already. It's a contract year, so things are lining up extraordinarily well for him. And they beat the 49ers, and then Dalton Kincaid has already set a new career high in touchdowns.
Yeah.
And what are we, in week 4? So no, they're playing well. It's fun to see all the talent come through and live up to the hype, and they've done that so far.
I'm so disappointed personally in the Baltimore Ravens, because I actually had some time yesterday afternoon to really invest in some NFL football, and I flip on the telly, Ben, and what is it? The Chiefs, Ravens, and I'm like, yes, blessed to be David James, Chiefs, Ravens. This should be a showdown. What a stinker. A snooze fest. Baltimore barely got off the bus.
I will say, and I'm not, that maybe they need to move on from Harbaugh. Maybe they need something different. They've started the season. 3 of their 4 games have come against the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs. Those 3 teams all legitimately have a chance to win the Super Bowl. That's not exactly a soft start. They crushed the Browns the way they should have crushed the Browns. We'll see. They play the Texans, the Rams, the Bears coming up. We'll see if they start to find a couple more victories. But that's an absurdly difficult start to the year. If you would have said 1-3 and you looked at that schedule, I don't know if they're actually that far off schedule. But they did not look good yesterday.
Yeah. You know who's super happy we're down here at Jazz Media Day? Salazar. Because you'd be rubbing fingernails and your Bears win over the Raiders right in his face today.
And they had a slow start. Caleb was not good to start that game, but
you would have painted your fingernails that said
forget Lloyd.
Forget Salazar. Yeah.
It's a lot of fingers.
You'd have to abbreviate some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I don't think Pete quite has the train on the tracks there.
Not quite.
In Vegas.
Well, Gino, we talked last week about, when you're smarter off with certain quarterbacks overpaying the wrong guy, Kyler Murray, whatever it is. You can also go wrong. If Gino goes bad and you're paying him $30 million a year, it goes bad quickly, and there's no real upside.
Jordan Love had a big night.
Yes, he did.
3 touchdowns.
Love a tie.
And a tie?
Love a tie. Love staying up late and watching a tie.
I laughed. Who was the analyst on that? It would have been Collinsworth.
Uh-huh.
Where he was talking about the Cowboys' defense. This is in the first half, and he's like, they're tired of everybody saying how much they stink, and look at how well they're playing. And then they just, on cue, absolutely, forget how to play football.
Fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like they heard Chris Collinsworth saying that they were good, actually.
Their best offense
no, we're not, Chris.
Early in the game was a blocked extra point. So, yeah, it's not awesome. But, hey, 40 points. They figured out the offense a little bit finally.
I've been in that situation, not as a play-by-play guy, but as, I don't know, have some hot take in the pregame, and it turns out to be totally wrong.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even guard this guy, and then that guy has 20 points in the first half. We tease we tease David because he likes to identify shooter, not shooter. And it feels like every time he's like, out to Brant in the corner for not shooter for 3. And it's good.
And of course,
I swear it happens like every single time, so it's not fair to uberly pay attention. But I did notice that yesterday, where Collinsworth is just talking up the Cowboys defense, and it's like, no, I don't think that's it, Chris.
Not this year.
Not this year, pal.
Yep.
I don't know who got in your ear and told you that, but they were incorrect. Incorrect indeed. Tonight we have 2 games, Ben.
No, we don't.
We have the Jets at the Dolphins.
Someone's going to get a win.
In Game 1 at 5:15 on ESPN. Yeah, somebody's got to win. That should be that
No, we
title.
literally just saw a tie.
Yeah, we did just see a tie. That would
true.
be great. Give me a 3-3 tie.
And then on the ABC, the featured game is Christian's Donks hosting Ben's Bungles. Are we going to put something on the line here, a friendly wager of sorts?
Well, one of these teams doesn't have a quarterback, and the other one's the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm not really sure what to think about this.
I think if the Bengals win, Christian has to pull off a fingernail, and vice versa.
I get to pull off one of Christian's fingernails. Vice versa?
It's if the Donks win, then you've got to pull off a fingernail. You can choose which one.
I won't bother making a bet with Ben because, if I'm not mistaken, he still owes a chicken sandwich. Right?
I do owe Jake a chicken
salad sandwich.
Chicken salad sandwich. But it's been 2 years, so
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Hey, I've tried to make it right several times, and we don't hang out a lot, so we'll see.
What's next?
Number 3, still early on in Jazz Media Day, but we've got a lot of heavy hitters that have come through the station.
Unsurprisingly, everybody's saying the right thing. I don't think anyone's actually trying to run from what the identity of this team is, which is a very young team, probably not going to be expected to win a whole lot of games. But I do think, even we heard Kevin Love up on the podium, there's some buy-in. Those guys are going to come in and they're going to play their role. They know what's expected of them. And I thought actually Kevin Love was pretty impressive in his conversation about what he knows, what he needs to do, where he's been in his career, and how he thinks he can still help.
You mentioned it's been a big day so far on the station, and Ben, you were in covering the podium, so I don't know how much of our station stuff you got a chance to hear and how much overlap there was. But Austin Ainge, Danny Ainge, Ryan Smith all made appearances on the radio station. And I thought there were 2 headlines from Ryan Smith with DJ and PK that really stood out to me. Number 1, he said he'd be comfortable if they overachieved and won 40 or 45 games, which I thought was interesting. That coming from the owner. He said, we're comfortable with that. That would mean they would not have a first-round draft pick. But he's comfortable with overachieving, which I thought was extremely notable. And then he went into describing like the hierarchy with he in the front office and how he operates. And he basically said he stays out of it. And I think that's what owners should do. Hire people that they trust to make decisions. And he said he encouraged collaboration and disagreement. But if they came to him unified with a unified front, he's not going to stand in the way, which I think is really important. Like, Matt Ishbia isn't saying that today. You know what I mean? So I thought those were the 2 really notable things from Ryan's interview with DJ and PK.
Yeah, he says he was up on the podium earlier and kind of asked the same thing of just like, what's your job now? You've got 2 professional teams. The hockey team needs them a lot right now. They're redoing everything for the practice facility, and eventually that will come for the Jazz as well. But they're working hard to get that team up and running, and they're closer to competing right now than the Jazz are. And I'm sure it just requires his attention because it's so new. But he said, yeah, Danny Ainge and Austin Ainge and Justin Zanuck and Will Hardy and his checkbook. That's kind of his role right now. Is his checkbook is in place to make sure it's able to do what it needs to do. And right now they don't need to be spending money on this roster.
But I honestly think that if they are invested and they are trying, and we see some guys take some steps, and I'm talking top end here, but they could win 40 games. I actually don't think that's that ludicrous. And if the owner is comfortable with it and the front office is comfortable with it, I mean, if everything breaks that way and Will's allowed to really coach, I think there's a ton of potential on the roster, frankly. And it also, and I don't want to say this too loudly, but watching last year was a real eye-opener on what you had to do to have a record in the teens.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's harder to win 17 games than it is 30 games in the NBA.
Extremely well put.
Yeah.
Extremely well put. And if they're not going to do that, then, that is an opportunity. I mean, I guess what I'm getting at there is the tank note folks. If things break the right way, this is not a tanking team.
I think they will be. I still think they're probably around 22 wins, but I think they're going to pick up more wins early in the season than people have been used to. Than certainly what we saw last year.
Threading that needle is going to be, again, we don't need to have this conversation here, but threading that needle of pouring it on and still only winning 22 games, that's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's going to depend on who plays. It's going to depend on who actually sees the court.
Oh, I think there were other factors at play last
year.
There
were. Absolutely there
were. Other lineup manipulation aside.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, we are live from Media Day. We'll step aside for a second. We've got all the stuff, like all the interviews I mentioned with DJ and PK, all the podium, Jazz podium interviews, which Ben was a part of this morning, and continue to go on with the players. They're all going to be up online. You can get it at KSL Sports, KSL Sports app. Download it wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to work hard to get it out there for you, the Jazz fan. More from Media Day coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's Jacob Ben live from Jazz Media Day, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jumping on with us now, Ben, a familiar face. He is back in town. A lot of fans excited about it. George Niang with us on Jake and Ben. What's going on, George? Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be here. It's kind of like reliving old memories. The colors have changed a little bit around here, but the vibes are still pretty high in Utah. I love that.
It's got to be weird, though. It's like just Justin Zanuck here, right? As far as familiar faces?
There's some other people in the weight room and training staff. No players, of course.
Yeah.
But, it's obviously just the whole vibe of the state of Utah, and then what the Jazz organization brings. It's been awesome, and it hasn't taken too much time to get adjusted back, to say the least.
This year with a developing team is going to be a little different for you. I can't remember what the stat is, but you're like the most winning basketball player in the last, what has it been? Like, you won more games than
7 seasons now.
Anybody in the last 6 or 7 seasons.
Wow.
You've been with franchises in a different spot, I guess, is my point. And this is a little bit different here. Is that an adjustment?
I think the biggest thing is you want to come in and shine your light. And obviously I've had some time with different teams in this league. So obviously any advice or veteran leadership that I can show towards the young guys and continue to grow and push forward. I think you want to win every single day in any situation. So I think that's kind of the goal here, whether that's, your practice habits, your training habits, obviously your in-game habits, you want to win those, and that's really just how you have to look at it. I'm going to go out there and do the best that I can to win to the best of my abilities and win every day, and you hope to share that knowledge and sprinkle that energy on the young core that we have.
You get into the league and you're fighting for your life, and I'm sure you feel like you're fighting for your life a little bit every day.
Every day, man. Ben, it's every day.
But, Indiana and Utah, and you're just trying to, catch on,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And you get some guaranteed contracts, and, how does your approach change? Does your mentality change at all?
No, I think you got to be patiently relentless, right? Patiently, waiting for your opportunity, but relentlessly pursuing it every single day. And that's kind of how I've attacked every single day. And this is my 10th season in the NBA, and I don't think I would change anything because it's worked out pretty
10 seasons?
Pretty nicely for me. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. I know you didn't think so a while back. No, I'm
Not
just
a chance.
kidding.
George?
Yeah.
No, he's going to have to get in shape. Remember?
Yeah. Wow, I can't catch any breaks here. I figured
That's
it's a
hilarious.
friendly fire over on this side. Yeah, no, but I've done it my way. I've done it this way. I've been successful doing it, and I'm going to continue doing that. Whether you think I'm in shape or not.
I feel like we need to bring up Iowa State football, Trouncing Arizona, or something to get this interview back on track.
Oh no, we're good.
I think
I'll direct message him on Twitter and try and bash him.
I am curious, though. You mentioned, I can't remember how you put it, but sprinkling that energy on the younger players. When, an Ace Bailey comes to you and says, "What do I got to do to have a great career?" What would you say?
Ace is super talented, right? We are in two totally different atmospheres when it comes to talent, right? So for my advice for Ace is, just show up every day and be who you are and work. I think the biggest thing that gets misconstrued is that if you show up every day and work, you'll probably beat out 80% of the world or the league because people struggle just to show up and work every single day. And Ace has a unique hunger for the game of basketball, and he's already super talented. So if he just shows up and works, he's going to be better than he ever could imagine, which I see happening because the kid is just he has a unique love for the game of basketball where he's constantly talking the game of basketball, constantly excited. And that's, encouraging as an older guy, right? Because you were that 18-year-old kid that loved the game of basketball. Obviously, I wasn't doing the things on his level that he was at that age, but it's just exciting and encouraging to see that because, there's such a bright future on the horizon for someone like that.
Unsurprisingly, we're getting the wrap it up signal, so I think we probably
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
appreciate it, George. Honestly, good to see you.
Hey, George, thank you, man. We appreciate you. Good luck this year.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that is George Niang with us here at Jazz Media Day. We're having a great time. Thanks to Keyonte George for jumping on. Thanks to George Niang. We've got the Georges covered so far on the Jake and Ben show. We will have more next, I think. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.